just started thinking right now.
Pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Shirley, would you call the roll, please?
Bruce.
Here.
Kalineski.
Here.
Ball. Here. Walker.
Here.
Williams.
Here.
Paczynski.
Here.
Scarrow. Here.
Okay, consideration of approval of the meeting agenda. On the meeting agenda for tonight, under communications and announcements, item A, we have a letter from Securian Dental Plans regarding contract renewal rates dated July 9th. And item B is an email communication from Township Attorney Sarah Alden regarding the property at 2111 Nelson Street. That's dated July 17th of 2015. Department and committee reports. A is the Water Department report. You have your Wade Trim monthly report in there. And then we also have included in there two bids for water line repairs, one for Link Lumber and one for the Witkowski residence that we need to address tonight. Item B is the fire department report. Item C is the zoning administrator's report. D is the planning commission report. E is building and grounds. And on building and grounds, we need to consider two applications that we received to fill the vacancy existing on the Building and Grounds Committee for an unexpired term ending December 31st of 2016. Item F is the Board of Review. G, Elections Committee. H, PEG, and I, the sewer project. Under new business, item A, we have consideration of approval of up to 4 additional inspections of the Filer City Road water tower by Dixon Engineering at a cost of $700 per inspection as contracted. Any questions, additions, or deletions to the meeting agenda for tonight? If not, I would entertain a motion for approval.
I so move.
Second. Motion by Cruz, second by Kalineski to approve the meeting agenda. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next, the approval of the consent agenda. On the consent agenda tonight, item A is the minutes of the regular board meeting from July 7th. B is the financial report. C is approval of the township general fund expenditures, including the fire department. Those checks are numbered 32595 through 32683. Accounts payable totals $39,889.12. Payroll is $13,889.12 for a total general fund expenditure of $53,024.78. Item D is approval of water department expenditures, checks numbered 2145 through 2155 totaling $23,296.90. Item E is approval for the Manistee County Humane Society to hold their annual Tag Day fundraiser at various locations in Filer Township on August 21st and 22nd, 2015 to support the Homeward Bound Animal Shelter. Item F is approval of the budget amendment transferring $40,000 from the fund balance of the general fund to the Nelson Street office miscellaneous account. Any questions, additions, or deletions to the consent agenda? If not, I would entertain a motion for approval then.
A motion to approve.
Motion by Skira, support by Hachinsky to approve the consent agenda. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, under communications and announcements, you have in your packet the letter from the Securian Dental Plan with the new rates for that contract renewal. Any questions on that? And item B is the email dated 7/17 from Sarah Alden regarding the residents on Nelson Street, 2111 Nelson Street. Questions, comments? Okay, then moving on, public comment. Any public comment tonight? Okay, and getting into department and committee reports. A, the water department, you've got your Wade Trim monthly report. Pretty consistent with previous months.
I see it's back to the full report now.
Well,
More,
not
there's
quite,
more,
yeah.
there's more
Yeah,
pages
but
than-
I was looking at that, yeah, there's, I still gotta go back and compare. There's a couple things that they haven't included, but we're getting there. Okay, item 2, under the water department, we have 2 bids before us to repair the water lines at Link Lumber and at the Kusky residence. We have a bid from Forbes in the amount of, let's see, for the Witkowski, let's see, Witkowski residence, $4,760. And for the Link lumber job, a bid of $6,000.
Who's that by?
That's by Forbes.
That's 6,000?
Is this our responsibility for this?
For Link, yes.
What?
About what Cuskies?
Same thing there.
And that's gotta be cheaper because we talked about coming from the backside of the property, so we don't tear it too much up.
No, we're still coming off from Linwood. I talked with Mike about coming off the back, and there were some issues there with, I want to say, I think it was gas lines he talked about, and something else, but the way he explained it, it made more sense to go this way, the way the old line went.
Yeah, it seems like we're tearing up a lot of,
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I thought, and that's what I told him, but, and it's been so long since I talked to him about that, you know, which way we should go back in May. I know there were a couple of concerns in coming from the back, and I just don't remember what all those were.
have we had any complaints about the water quality stinking or tasting bad while we're working on this tank?
I haven't heard of
Nobody called me.
anyone
None that
in
have come in
Lynn
here.
hasn't said anything to me about it, so.
I had one customer say something that they thought the water was terrible, and I said, well, maybe it's because of the tank.
Yeah, I don't.
They were from Linwood, so.
From Linwood, okay, I haven't heard anything. And I kind of anticipated that, you know, there might be some issues with that, but I assume not.
Well, maybe because it's on the end of a line or something, it's hard to say.
I don't know,
Not enough water flowing?
we did have one problem over here with Sister Fran Stefanski. Had some issues with her water, and Mike took care of it, and it was just a real freakish thing. Why it happened, I thought it might be tied to that, and he said, you know, I said, everything's isolated, right? And he said, yeah, there's no way that could have come from, you know, the work being done in this tank.
Maybe I'll talk to Mike and have him go get a sample and test it and see.
From the Linwood?
Yeah.
Yeah, we could do that, sure. Is it still an issue?
I just talked to him on Sunday,
Oh, okay,
so it's just,
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, then we ought to do that. We ought to do that.
okay.
Let's see, the other bid we received from Swiderski's. And that one, the repair work at Link Lumber totals $7,885.
7 what?
$7,885. And the work at the Witkowski residence is $7,435.
In your packet.
So the total on that
Yeah,
bid,
it is.
the total on that bid is a little over $1,500. I'm sorry, $15,000, a little over $15,000. And on Forbes bid, it's
Not quite.
not quite 11, $10,760 total. Now, I did talk with Kevin Forbes today because they've noted that this bid is good for 30 days. Of course, it's dated May 7th, I believe it was. And I asked him about the bid, whether it would be good or not. And he said there could be increased cost, but simply based on any increases in materials. He said it could be $300 to $400 increase in cost. We talked a little more, and as he was leaving, he said it definitely would be, it'd be under $500 if there's an increase. Based on, you know, he said that the big thing is copper, the fluctuation of copper costs. And there's quite a bit of copper there. So even if you added $500 and there's a cushion, that would bring it, just over 11,000. And I had hoped that we would get a third bid, but we did not after, I made several calls and talked in person with them a couple times about it, and they're just too busy right now. So, and that, of course, is Carl's Excavating. I talked with Scott this past Saturday at a wedding, in fact, and they've got a couple of big jobs right now they're involved in, and he just, he didn't care to give us a bid right now, so, on this, so. But I want to give him the opportunity to bid because he's done so much for us and helped us out in so many ways, and didn't want to exclude him from that process, so. So with that being said, we have two bids to consider, and knowing what kind of a workload backlog these guys have on their construction jobs, that we need to take action on it so that we can at least get it done this fall before cold weather sets in again.
Well, I'll move that we accept Forbes's bid, which is a low bid.
I'll second it.
Okay, motion by Cruz, or motion by Hitchinski, second by Cruz to accept the Forbes, the bid from Forbes, in the amount of, what was it, $10,760, with the understanding that it could add up to $500 in material costs. Any discussion on that?
Okay, so we're putting that in as part of the bid.
I think we need to put that in as part of the motion, yes. Could be additional material costs, not to exclude $500, not to exceed $500.
Additional cost.
Additional on top of the.
Okay.
No discussion. Shirley, you want to call the roll?
Scarra? Yes. Ball? Yes. Williams?
Yes.
Walker?
Yes.
Kalinowski?
Yes.
Machinsky?
Yes.
Cruz?
Yes.
Okay, next, we have the fire department report. Ron?
July, we had
31 calls for service, 21 of those were medical. Vehicle crashes, we had 4, 2 power lines, 1 fire alarm, 1 structure fire mutual aid at the city of Manistee, and the lift assist total should be 2 rather than 1. Our emergency call hours for our personnel were 188, and we spent 50 hours last month on training. We had our ISO, or Insurance Services Office inspection. I was on vacation. Assistant Chief Espovic handled that inspection with Mr. John Shipman, and he will give a report, and then I'll come back to finish mine.
We had an inspection from ISO with John Shipman, and we did fairly well on it. He was very impressed with our station. ISO hasn't been here since 1995, and so they have some old records of our water supplies and things. We are currently rated at a 9 in the non-water district, and we're rated at a 7 in the water district. And I think if we get the information to him from the water department that I sent to Mr. Walker for the water department to fill out, to give the inspector the information on the new, I mean, they don't even have on their records that we have that other water tower on Red Apple Road. So that whole water, that addition to our water system and water supply is not on the record. So that all needs to get calculated back in for them to do their report, and then we can come back and take a look at maybe getting some of that, that rating reduced from a 7 down to a 6, which then in turn would then save everyone some money on their homeowner's insurance. When the rating goes down, your insurance rates go down. But again, he was very impressed with our equipment and the condition it was in, the station. He hasn't been here. Like I said, the last time he was here was back in 1995. We had the old station, so there's quite an improvement since he's been here last. So, but everything else we had, everything was up to speed as far as the equipment we have and what we carry on the trucks and our personnel and our training records. All that was in very good shape. So the only thing that we do need to do is we do need to send them a little bit more information on the trucks, the year, the pump capacity, the make and the brand of the pumps and that type of thing. That we have to send him yet. We didn't have those forms when he came. He gave those forms to me, so since then we filled those out, and we just need to email them out to him. He advised me that it would be probably 4 to 6 months before the report would be done. But with that form that I sent you, Mr. Walker, the water department needs to get that information back to him. The report that he had got from the water department had some information on it, but he needed more detailed information on flow rates and storage capacities and that type of thing. So. Okay.
He's going to get some of that information from Pat Gallagher, and he'll get those filled out, and then I'll email that in to Mr. Shipman.
Okay. The other thing that he did send me is that if we want to reduce our fire rating out in the non-water district, which would be, not the hydrant district, what we'd have to do is we would have to go through some steps to prove that we could pump 250 gallons a minute for 2 consecutive hours without missing a beat, hauling water. And Ron and I are trying to work out something to see if it's possible for us to do that. That's going to take a lot of effort that's a lot of water to pump for two hours. So, and we have to be able to prove that we can do it with a water shovel. So we're working on trying to get that resolved. So if we can do that, we can then possibly lower our rating in the non-water district also, which then would benefit those people in the out area.
Are there any restrictions on that, or any in terms of where in the non-water district, how far you have to be able to go and still be able to do that? Do they specify, from the
No, he didn't.
outer limits of our?
He didn't specify where it needs to be, but it just has to be. It cannot be. We can't hook to a hydrant.
Yeah.
Okay, we have to shuttle the water, set up the drop tank, and we have to have a water shuttle for, I think it's like 40,000 gallons of water we got to pump. And we have to do that consecutively without missing a beat, and we got to be able to prove it. So there's a whole stack of forms that you have to fill out to document what you're doing and how you're doing it, and what the other department. It'd be a mutual aid tanker shuttle is what we do, just like we had if we had a structure fire somewhere. So, but other than that, we did very well on the inspection.
Good.
So
Good. That's good to hear.
I want to thank Jim for all of his hard work on that meeting with Mr. Shipman, and that whole process took about 2.5 hours that they spent going through the paperwork and through all our records and looking at the station and the apparatus. Also, recently this week we had an EMS service inspection where they come in and the state of Michigan comes in and inspects all of our records for our medical unit. And they also inspect our rescue truck. That process takes about 2.5 hours. Lieutenant Vince Majeski, our EMS officer, took care of that. He maintains all the records, all the licensing of our personnel. He has to show the inspector all the copies of the licenses, CPR records, all the equipment on the truck. They go through item by item. We passed that with flying colors, no issues whatsoever, and so that is in good shape. Again, I want to make sure I recognize him as well because he put in a lot of time this last 2 weeks ensuring that went smoothly. We also had while the state inspector was here, she also did the station inspection for the medical classes that we have to be certified by the state of Michigan in order to hold medical classes at our fire station. She went through, Jim Henderson, our instructor, and I met with her. We spent an additional 2 to 2.5 hours with her, going through all the equipment that the Manistee County Firefighters Association has acquired. The classes used to be put on by West Shore Medical Center. They have informed the firefighters, the fire departments, that they are no longer going to do that. They are not going to support fire department or township EMS at all. So the Manistee County Firefighters Association, which is all 12 fire departments together, have taken that on and as a group, and have managed to work together to acquire the equipment that we needed. If you've seen that trailer next to the fire station, that belonged to the city of Manistee. They used to carry their Harley-Davidson motorcycles in that. They haven't used that for numerous years, so they've allowed the Firefighters Association to use it to store all of our medical equipment. So we're doing really well at that. They have certified us for the EMR class, but for EMT class, I think you received a copy of the contract written by Richard Wilson. EMTs are required to do ride-alongs in an ambulance as part of their training, as a third party. The contract that you have is written by Mr. Wilson that allows them to do that. It protects both the township and the hospital, and it specifically states in there that they cannot use the students that we're sending as members of their crew. They are there as observers and to learn. They're not there to participate as employees of West Shore. And it also states that our instructor will be responsible for discipline if there's any issues, and that we'll take care of those, and etc. I believe Mr. Walker talked to Mr. Wilson about it. That will need to be approved by the board at the next meeting in September. That gives everyone a month to look at it and come up with any questions that you need to have answered. I believe it's pretty generic for any EMT class that's conducted. We took on this we decided that we were going to become a certified department for teaching these classes because we have a facility that's excellent for teaching. Manistee Township is also going to become certified. They're currently housing I don't know if you are familiar with the 3 containers that we were able to, the Firefighters Association was able to acquire. We're going to turn that into a training facility for the Fire Academy. Manistee Township is housing those on their township property. We're turning them into so that they look like a residence with an upstairs, so firefighters can go in there when they're smoked up and actually go through the steps of fighting fires when they're doing their training. So they are going to be some certified, but not till after they get through with this other training facility that they're building on their property. The other training facility in Manistee County for EMS is Norman Township. So that gives us an out-county location as well as an in-county. And when we're all up, everyone is up and certified, then the classes will be spread around. They won't be just housed in one location. And so that the expense, any expense that would be, strictly would be lighting basically, that would be any additional, would be spread around to different places. Having these classes in the Firefighters Association allows us to put on the classes for about $350 per student less than if we sent them to a school outside of Manistee. If we had to send our 3 students to Cadillac, to Baker College or somewhere, it would cost us a minimum of $650. And this class is going to cost probably $300 per student. So it's a significant savings, over 50% savings to each township that we go through. A couple of other things that this is a great boon for because we know it's going to continue to exist. It's not going to go away if the Firefighters Association handles it, so it's going to be great for us. Also, we have found out from West Shore Medical Center that they're no longer going to support Fire Department EMS at all. We used to be able to get, if we used equipment during an emergency call, they would replace it. We've been told that they are not going to do some of those things anymore. If we use defibrillator pads in a cardiac arrest, they would provide us with new defibrillator pads. They're no longer going to do that. If our batteries died in our defibrillator, they would supply us with a new battery. They are no longer going to do that. The monetary cost to us is not significant. We don't use that much of that equipment that they would replace, so it's not going to be a big monetary cost. But they also are mandated by the state of Michigan to provide quality assurance for the fire department. In particular, especially this applies to Filer and Norman Township because we run basic life units. And now for over a year now they have neglected to provide that service. When we met, and that was a big issue with the inspectors because we had to prove to her that we were going through a quality assurance process to make sure that we were providing the proper and significant care to our medical patients. We couldn't do that because West Shore Hospital just quit doing it, and I understand they don't intend to do it. So what that requires us to do is we have to start doing it internally and maintaining those records. And while the monetary cost of that is not a lot, the man-hours cost to us is going to be significant. It's going to require Vince Majeski to take all of our, he is right now in the process of creating forms for this process. And after he's done with that, he will need to go through every emergency call each month and read them all and make sure that the documentation is correct and that the performance of our personnel is correct. So it's really a shame that they're not going to do that anymore. But it's not something that we can do without. This is a a liability issue for the township and the fire department, because we need to prove that we're doing what we're supposed to do. And with the guidance that we received from the inspector, we will do that. We will have those records. They're available. If for some reason something happens, we end up in court, we will have all those records to show that we're performing in the manner that we're supposed to be. So it's been a really busy last week. There's 3 or 4 of us probably got in over 20 hours apiece this week doing that, and it's well worth what we put into it because it does a good service for the fire department and for the people of Filer Township. Does anyone have any questions about that part of my report as far as that? Inspections or anything? We should be done with inspections for the year, I hope. This inspection takes place, the department inspection takes place every year. The EMS, the classroom inspection, is every 2 years, and I think after this inspection, it simply involves paperwork and doesn't involve a on-site visit. So that'll be a little bit easier. In the next 3 months, we're going to be pretty busy. We've got some events coming up. August 8th, which is Saturday, we've been requested by Dollar Tree to come up with a couple fire trucks for their ribbon cutting ceremony, so we'll be up there. Ribbon cutting's at 10. We'll be there probably around 9:30, quarter to 10, and then we'll be there probably an hour, and then we'll be back home. September 12th at 9 a.m., Filer Credit Union and Packaging Corporation are doing a 5K run walk, with all proceeds going to the fire department. So we're very grateful to them for that. This is something they came up with, and we will be there with some personnel and some trucks and assisting them in whatever manner we can. And we certainly want to express our thanks to them for having this benefit for us. Also on September 12th, the DHS office has an annual truck day for the kids involved in their program. So we'll have the trucks over there by Kmart Plaza by the DHS office during the day. The end of September will be Kmart Safety Day. I don't have that date yet, so you'll see the trucks over there at the end of September for their safety day. We'll be doing blood pressures, free blood pressure clinic, and that type of thing, giving out some information. October 4th through the 11th is Fire Prevention Week. We are not going to do a program. The Firefighter Association is not going to do a program at Manistee Catholic Central this year. Everyone's decided that they want to do an in-house Fire Prevention Week celebration. So we're going to we're going to have a meeting on Monday at our Monday fire meeting, and we're going to plan some events for that. We'll have an open house. We're thinking about doing free CPR classes for Filer Township residents, maybe fire extinguisher training for people that have home fire extinguishers, that type of thing. So we'll be announcing that probably within the next 10 days. October 31st, that's Saturday, will be our annual Halloween parade again down Nelson Street. So anyone that wants to participate is welcome. We'll be contacting those people that have participated in the past, and we invite anyone that hasn't in the past to participate with us on that day. And finally, we have Jim Henderson, firefighter paramedic. He's our instructor for our EMR class, and will be the instructor for our EMT class. He's applied at the department. He'll be doing a lot of work at our department with classes and preparation. So we invited him to join. That would also give us a second instructor. Tammy Warniak is also an instructor. So we'd like to add him to our staff, and then that will give us a full roster of personnel. He is a full-time firefighter with the City of Manistee, and they have stated that they have no objection to him being on another department.
How does that impact our numbers?
It will be full staff, is that correct, Jim? 20.
20 what?
29.
9? If I recall, and it was last month or the month before, you were going to be losing somebody when school starts, I thought.
We have, we don't have any.
Chris Cody left because
Oh, Chris Cody left last month. Yeah, he moved, or he went to work for Life EMS in Grand
Okay,
Rapids.
right. And wasn't there a young person who was going to be leaving for school?
Actually, yeah,
Kayla Link left when she left the department.
Okay.
Martin.
Mike Martin, or Matt Martin
Martin Ladders.
left. He went to, right, he's in Lansing, in law enforcement school, and he had a job for the summer at a law enforcement agency as a cadet down there.
And so Jim Henderson, in addition of him, would bring you back up to 29?
Yeah. And Jim has a full-time job here, and he has a house, and
You still have to.
so he's going to be, pardon?
You still have to do a background check?
Yes, we don't, until he's approved by the board, we don't do any of that until we get approval from the board.
I just wondered because it's eligible.
But he is working full-time for the city. I'm sure he probably won't have trouble with his background check.
Well, I make a motion to put Jim Henderson on the force fire department.
I'll second.
Because he just completed his BS degree. He had a degree in something, he just did.
Okay, we have a motion by Dean Cruz, second by Dale Kowalski to approve putting Jim Henderson on the fire department as a full-time firefighter. I'm sorry, not as a full-time firefighter, as a volunteer firefighter. And any discussion on that?
When are we gonna meet all these firemen?
When we-
Changes so fast.
Do you want me to have him come in next meeting?
Pardon?
Do you want me to have him come to the next meeting? If you want to meet him?
What did you say again?
You want me to have them come to the next board meeting?
Yeah, it'd be nice if we got to know them.
Okay.
What kind of a turnout, I'm thinking the other way of having us go to either one of your Monday night meetings. What kind of a turnout do you generally have at your Monday meetings, Ron?
We usually have, what, 15?
Pretty good, isn't it?
Okay, is it pretty consistently the same each week?
Mhm.
Yeah.
If there's a date that, if there's a particular Monday you'd like to come, I'll try to make sure that people make arrangements that if they have something else going on, they can still make it there.
Yeah, because
Board member.
might be able to do it just at the fire station. A meet and greet or something.
Well, we're going to have an open house for Fire Prevention Week, but that's not until the beginning of October.
When is that, October?
Yes, we haven't set the date yet, if it's going to be the first weekend or the second weekend. Probably be the second weekend of October.
Is that on the weekend, Ronnie?
We could do it then.
Well, it goes on for the whole week, but we'll probably do it on a Saturday.
You can set something up.
Pardon?
You can set something up for a Monday night.
We can do it Monday night, we can do it another night if you want.
We could just do one of your Monday nights, that'd be.
Do it on a Monday, it's better.
Okay, tell me which Monday you want to do it.
The next one,
Next Monday?
yes.
Okay.
Let's,
Won't be there.
Well, wait a minute, we probably got to change.
Yeah.
We got our
Yeah.
no, I just got to see where I
What's the
am.
date?
Ed, we got pegged.
Huh?
You'll have to
Yeah,
go for us then.
I've got 2 meetings on that.
Because if we don't show up, there is
One
no
at
pay.
5:30 and one at 6:30, so.
On Monday?
We'll come
Yeah.
up with one when we all look
Why
at our,
don't we
We'll
talk
let you
about
know.
Monday?
Yeah, just let me know.
Majority of us can
Yeah.
make, and then I'll get in touch with you, Ron, and
Okay,
Do it that
set
way.
something.
that'd be great.
Good idea, Ed.
And they will appreciate it because they've asked about the board members coming over to meet them. So.
They do?
They do. Yes, they do. In fact, it was brought up again last Monday about the board members coming over to see the station and meet the firefighters.
And we should. And I've been very negligent in not getting to a Monday night meeting, and I don't know how many Monday nights I'm coming home from somewhere at 7:30, 8 o'clock go by. Oh, you know, there are Mondays that I don't have anything, but so many Mondays that I do, and it's.
Just let me know,
you get there.
because
So we'll talk about it and set something up.
I'll make sure that we're not going out to do pumping water or something that day.
Yeah, I'll have to get with you on that, because I know you do have some nights that you do practice exercises, so. Of course, that'd be maybe good too for us to come along and see you in action.
There you go. Any other questions for me? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ron.
We have to vote on Henderson. We don't have to.
Oh, yes, we got, sorry, yeah, we have a motion on the floor by Dean, I believe, and a second by Kolomeski to approve adding Jim Henderson to the fire department. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
Let's see.
Got a lot of zoning, huh?
Yeah, your report is in there from Lynn, and there's been a lot of activity in the last month, and I've just had, just this week, 3 calls in Lynn's absence with building questions. So there's been a lot of activity, and
I
That's
see
good.
it says St. Joseph Civic Club pending yet.
yes, and that,
Where's that damn sheet?
I'll have to find out what was going on there. I went by there today, and there was about 18 to 20 cars parked at the
what?
Filer City Bar today. And nobody outside,
Well, that's
so
good.
I don't know. Yeah, it's,
If you want to roll right into the planning commission, we can talk about that, because we have 2 public
Sure.
hearings coming up with the planning commission, one being the application for the civic club, and then another one for Talon Group, which will be over in the,
Was there something you're not telling us about?
no, just come to the public hearing. And
where's the one on the pitch and putt at? Is that?
that's all done. That
That's all done?
application has been
Okay.
approved. And
Okay.
we understand that the sale of the land did go through, so perhaps he'll be starting that. It's down by Mason, the county line road over there. But anyway, 2 public hearings coming up on the 18th.
Is that the property that you're talking about across from Massey National on the Talon
No,
Group?
no, Terry just brought
That-
that up. That's in the past. It's
Yeah.
already been
What's
approved.
the Talon Group? What,
Talon Group is a title company.
okay, where, are they going into?
They're
one of the
moving
apartment?
in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Somewhere, 1361 US 31 South, I think it's
Is that the old
up there
AES
by
office?
Peebles in there,
I read that.
right
There's
next
that
to
little
it.
office in there, right?
Yeah. the old-
Portadilla Produce
Yes.
was right next to that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gee, you think we should really let Lynn take 2 weeks at a time, Derek?
No, I don't.
She ain't gonna quit on us, is she?
No.
No, that won't be allowed.
Yeah,
If you don't let her do that, she might.
yeah.
Yeah, people need a break.
Well, all right. I guess we-
Because then we're all going right after she comes back. We'll
You
need-
ain't going.
Don't mess with them.
Okay, what else do you have on the planning commission?
That's the big
that
deal,
it?
the 2 public hearings coming
Okay.
up.
Okay, and I think that's on the 18th, that's the same day we have
Tuesday.
our date in
Weeks
Grand
from now,
Rapids.
I believe, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, item E is the Building and Grounds Committee, and you have your minutes in the packet. We also have 2 applications. I'm sorry, you don't have minutes in the packet because the Building and Grounds Committee did not meet last month. But we do have two applications for the vacant spot on the Building and Grounds Committee. One is Brian Slavinsky and the other is Jim Robke. Hopefully you've taken a look at both their applications and read through the information. And I would entertain a motion for approval of appointment of one of those two gentlemen. I know Jim Robke well, been in the men's club with him for a number of years, and he's very active there. Dale would also know him through the men's club, very active, very conscientious, responsible, and dependable. Does a lot of work for the men's club, and he is retired. Certainly would have the time to put in. The other applicant, Brian Slavinsky, I also know Brian not real well in recent years, but a former student, so I know him that way. But if anyone wishes to speak on behalf of either of those gentlemen, certainly feel free to, and as I said, I would entertain a motion.
Well, I'll make the motion for Brian Slavinsky. He's retired also.
Isn't he working in construction?
Not retired.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
he
he's-
works on a cell.
I think he's still
Because he's,
involved in construction.
Licensed
Yeah.
builder for
Yeah.
5 years, so is he?
Yeah,
Is he in
he
the?
built his own house. He built a few houses in the last, plus having his job at the prison.
I guess I'd like to also make a motion, if we can, because we'll take a vote on it, is Jim Robke.
Well, we've got a motion on the floor that we got to
We're looking for a
look for a
second.
second on that motion first. If there's a second, then we can discuss it and vote on it. Yea or nay, we can, if there's no second, then we can entertain a second motion. So right now, without a second, that motion's killed. With a second, then we can vote.
Then I'd make a motion to consider Jim Robke for the position.
Okay, we can't make a motion on that yet. I gotta wait and see if we got a second on.
Oh, I thought you didn't
Ed's.
have a second.
No.
Oh,
Is there a second for Ed's motion? Okay, then hearing no motion, that motion is dead. Tom, you can make a motion. If you so choose.
Make the motion for Jim Robke, consider Jim Robke.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion in support of Jim Robke and a second motion by Tom Machinsky, second by Bruce Garrett in support of Jim Robke. Discussion.
I think either one would be fine.
I don't think we'd go wrong with either one. I think they're both.
But I think Jim is totally free from any,
Yeah, Jim probably has a lot less
and we're
commitments
going
right
to need a
now.
lot of manpower for these projects up the road here on the
Yeah,
next.
well, and I know with our current members on the Building and Grounds Committee, having Ed on there is just a huge plus with his experience, his background, his knowledge, and having Bob on there has been a huge help also, and so it's good to get people that have that experience, but also that have the time to put in to different projects. That's my speech. Anyone else have anything? Okay, then all those in favor of the motion to appoint Jim Robke to Building and Grounds signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carried. You also can see in your packet from the minutes of the Board of Review meeting of July 22nd. The Board of Review was fairly busy. I think since I've been in office, it was probably one of the longest July Board of Reviews that I've sat on. So there was a lot to deal with at that meeting, but it went very smoothly, and that was our first one with our new assessor, Molly Whetstone, and I thought things went really well. She did a great job, and talking with the other members of the Board of Review after the meeting, I think they were equally impressed. So I think we made a very good selection in hiring Great Lakes Assessing as our assessing company. In fact, one other change now, I think when we interviewed them, they had 4 people on their staff, 3 level 3s and 1 level 2, and they have recently hired a 5th person, and I forget now where Molly said they stole this person from, some other governmental unit over in Wexford County that she said we've been wanting to get that person on our staff for a long time, so this was a big step for them. So, and it's helpful to us then too. It just gives them more manpower to assist us with our assessing. So.
Well, I'm impressed with the way she's been handling things too.
Yeah.
Working on my end with her.
Yeah, both her and Sharon, really. Yeah, they seem to be real go-getters.
Is that going to be their permanent office down there?
Downstairs? No, that's just, no, they'll still hold their office hours up here when they're in the township, but that's, the old records are all stored down there. But they've been doing, big job of organizing and getting everything filed down there.
They took the car and everything.
Okay, moving on to the elections committee. Shirley, do you want to add anything to the minutes?
Tuesday's election is over. We had 81 voters out of 1,941 possible voters.
That's bad.
Really terrible.
The canvassing is all done at the county level. I got that word today, so I guess
So the results are
one
fine.
for the record book.
Okay. Is that one of the lowest turnouts ever?
Probably, yeah.
I know we came in and voted at, I want to say around 3, 4 in the afternoon, and I couldn't believe it. I was like
Actually,
40-something.
when I looked at
Or 17 or 18.
when I looked at this kind of an election in the years past, a similar one, we had 158 voters. So that's how you order your ballots, based on your historical figures there. And this was even worse. But it was August, vacation time, and all those things come into play.
Yeah, and only the one issue on the ballot,
Right.
so, yeah. Okay, thank you. PEG Commission.
Well, we're going to look at our DVDs and update some of those.
I'm sorry, you're updating what?
Our DVDs,
Oh, okay.
we're going to be looking at, not right now, but we're looking at doing it. We don't have a phone right now either. Manistee High School is changing the phones over, so we do not have a phone. So if you want to call to join the PEG Commission,
Use email,
use email and we'll take it from there.
tv2@southern.net.
So, we're looking hard for some more people. So if you know anybody,
Okay, thanks, Dean. Sewer project, I spoke with Brian Sousa today and have had some emails back and forth with Eric Williams, the attorney that's working with the DDA on the sewer project, and also some communication with Ben Byfoss. I believe it was July 14th. It was about 2.5, 3 weeks ago that a bunch of us went to Cadillac and met with DEQ over there to talk about some of the CSO issues with the city, and got a lot of questions answered. And then the city met with them the following week, and then the same day there was a group of us that met with the Little River Band out at their headquarters, and got some questions answered there. So we will be hopefully soon ready to plot a course, and we'll keep you posted. So, any questions on that? Okay, under new business, we just have one item, and that is basically an add-on to the contract that we approved in July for Dixon Engineering to do some inspections on our water tower. And they, talking with Ira Gaben, and I think I spoke with all of you individually, he said there may be a need for up to 4 more inspections. It would just be an add-on to that contract. We wouldn't put a new contract in place at the same cost per inspection. And so we just, we need to formally approve that. And then I'll talk about where we're at on that water tower, I guess. I'm sure you
I
got
make
some
a
interest.
motion that we do that.
Support.
Okay, motion by Cruz, support by Williams to approve
Got it rained out.
up to 4 additional inspections on the Filer City Road water tower by Dixon Engineering.
Are you going to talk about possibly a reduction of the price we pay the original contractor on that, or who's going to really ultimately pay for these? Are we going to wind up footing the bill for each of these $700 inspections?
Yes. Yeah.
And
Yep.
there's no way we can go back on,
To USG?
yeah.
No, we can't. They have their own inspectors also, and they, you know, the whole idea was that we wanted to coordinate those inspections and make sure that, you know, having an outside engineering firm do inspections, you know, our feeling was that those inspections are not going to be biased in any way. And, you know, when we're looking at just for this water tower, I forget my total cost figure on that. It was in the neighborhood of $260-some thousand. You know, the general feeling was that to protect that large of an investment, I'm willing to spend, you know, a few $1,000s more to make sure those inspections are done properly. And we got reports from Dixon. I'm still waiting for a couple of reports to come in. I met with, I think probably as a result of the fact that I contacted USG and let them know that we were going to have another engineering firm here doing inspections. I had a meeting with Dan Kitchen. You recall he came in and did the PowerPoint presentation for us. He came in and met with me for between an hour and a half, probably about 3 weeks ago. That was one of the things we talked about. Of course, he assured me, you know, that their inspectors were going to make the necessary inspections and everything, but I think that kind of spurred some response on their part, on USG's part. Then I had a call last week from another one of their licensed inspectors from USG, and I met with him last week probably for in excess of an hour again, and I had some concerns that I addressed with him in terms of some of the weld seams, the power blasting and priming being done on them, and took them right out there and pointed those out to him, and he ended up staying until I don't know how late, because I finally left between 5 and 5:30, but he had talked with the crew, and he talked with the foreman of the crew, and had that taken care of. They were up again today. In fact, there were 3 of them here today. I met with them again today. We went over and they did their final complete inspection. Climbed the tower, did the interior wet inspection, the interior dry, and the exterior they took measurements on the thickness of the paint and everything else. So they will be sending reports. But if you haven't been out there, go out and walk around the tower, and it sure looks 100% better than it did before, and you can come in and get the key to go on the inside and look at the inside too. Where,
Did you go to the top?
no, I did not go to the top.
The inside looks a lot better.
Maybe 15, 20 years ago, Ed, I would have climbed to the top, but they put the harnesses on and the carabiners and everything, and they climbed to the top.
Yeah.
We're right up on top. I'd like to go up there just to see the
So
view.
the work is all done?
So the work
Basically done.
is done, basically. We'll get a report on the inspections that they've done. We will get notification when the paint is thoroughly cured so that we can refill the tank. And they said that's probably going to be about a week to a week and a half that we should get notification on that.
And we want to make sure it's cured before.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean, those of you that saw the interior dry before, I think part of the problem was that when that was done, it may have been done too late in the year, and the temperature and humidity conditions were not good, and that paint was just peeling off in there, sheets of it hanging and lots on the floor.
I've seen
and
that.
the ground. Yeah, and DEQ inspectors from Cadillac saw that too, and they've been on our case for quite a while to take care of that. So it's I'm going to be real anxious to see Scott Conradson's reaction when he sees it when he comes over, because we had a lot of discussions about the condition of that water tower. So but that's I guess that's basically where we're at, waiting to, it'll have to be filled, and then once it's filled and the chlorine added, they have to take 2 separate tests, I think 24 hours apart, and then, you know, check for BACT and make sure everything's good to go before we start using that water.
Yeah, we're spending enough money where we gotta check this thing.
But is this
And there's a
only,
motion now.
Yeah, I'm sorry, thank you.
oh.
Yeah, there is a motion on the floor, and we've had lots of discussion. I guess if there's any questions or concerns on the motion or that, those should be addressed.
Well, I was just wondering, can I talk?
Sure, yep.
It says up to 4 more inspections, but is there only 1 more that we're looking at with the?
I know of 2 that they've done for sure, that they came and did after we discussed it. Now, whether or not, I have not received anything further from Ira Gaben by email or telephone since probably 2 weeks ago, I think, was when we got the last email that Lynn gave to me. In fact, that was the same day that Dan Kitchen was here. Yeah.
But these additional inspections have something to do with that they didn't do something right and they had to redo it, is that?
Well, there was one of the issues was painting the stripe painting of the weld seams, and that, according to Dixon, was not done the way it should have been done. That information was shared with the USG inspectors, and talking with, and I don't remember his last name, but Brian today, that was, he said he was here, he had them redo that. He took pictures, and so that issue was addressed. And that's, you know, the thing that that should happen, I think, on this is the inspectors should be working together mutually, and, you know, so that if one misses something, hopefully the other one catches it and it's pointed out. You know, that's one issue that I know was addressed and rectified. And from what, you know, like I told them, you know, I'm not an engineer. I don't have the knowledge necessary. I just want to make sure that everything is done right and that we don't have failure down the road before we should. And they, you know, and I mean, I at times got pretty blunt with them, you know. Why should I believe that statement, you know? And so we had some lengthy discussions, and I felt a lot better afterwards about it. But
So we can look to be adding another inspector for the Red Apple Road Tower too. And
Well,
when we plan money, we're going to have to,
yeah, and that's
Bill
something
Moore
I think we'll want to.
if we stay with USG.
Yeah, I think, well, we're with USG. We've already signed the contract for the Red Apple Road Tower, so we will be using them. We'll have to make a decision at that time, you know, if we want to follow this same route again, or, you know, trust the USG inspectors. And I, you know, with my schedule, what it's been the last couple of months, there were times when, you know, inspectors were here that I wasn't able to be here. And I would like, I think the next time around, I would like to make sure that we have somebody on site whenever an inspection is being done, so we can talk with those people and say, okay, what, you know, give me a report right now, a verbal report. I don't want to wait 3 or 4 days to get an email, a written report. So, yeah, that's something we may decide to do again.
We haven't entered that contract yet.
Yes, you did.
Well, we have not,
You're obligated for at least 1 year.
we're obligated for, we have signed that contract, but we don't make any payments until they start work on it.
Red Apple?
Yeah, and that's the one, you know, I talked with them about putting that work off for a year. When we have an opportunity to build our water funds up a little bit more, and they didn't have a problem with that. They said, that's fine. So, yeah, we're kind of looking at next summer.
And that way we get to talk to the DDA again too.
Yeah, maybe they'll be in a little different position then too.
Well,
But hopefully, you know, with our rate structure the way it is now, and with doing our asset management plan, and we'll be readdressing that asset management plan probably in March or February before the end of the fiscal year, and we'll have a little better handle then on where we're at financially within the water funds in the water department, and be a little better able to make good decisions then.
New business?
Gentlemen, yes.
Roger Leeski, I just moved in on South Maple. I want to know why...
Can I get your name again?
Roger Leeski.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Why the county and this township is so against the ATV ORV use. Mason County allows them. Oceana, Lake, Wexford, Benzie, they're all around us, but they don't allow them here. I bought one and I got to keep it in Mason County. That's not right. What's the big deal? I even talked with the sheriff. He says, I have no problem with it. He says, I don't know what the problem is, he said. Why do all the surrounding counties allow it, but this being the wet blanket of West Michigan, they don't allow anything here? Answer me that.
Well, I can't right now.
Apparently it's been brought up in the past, I was told.
The last 3 years here.
Not since I've been on this.
No?
It hasn't, no.
Well, somebody said it's been brought up in the past and it's kind of fizzled out.
I don't recall it ever being.
It was quite a while ago.
Yeah.
Well, you've got all the surrounding counties that allow them, but Manistee being, I lived here for 65 years, I know a lot about this county, and they're always against progress. Always. So let's end that and allow their use. Or at the very least, let me have a permit without anybody stopping me so I can go a lousy 1 mile down Maple to get into Mason County. That's really all I'm after, in case I get stopped.
Are you talking about a quad or a golf cart or a...
No, this is a Polaris Ranger. Looks like a little miniature pickup truck. That's kind of the best way to describe those.
Okay, now you can go with the process of getting it licensed.
Yeah, I've got the ORV license and all that.
Okay, not an ORV sticker, a regular Michigan license plate.
No, to get them street legal, it's extremely expensive. Mason County, you don't even need that. All you need are those two orange stickers.
There's about 3 of them in Filer Township that are street legal.
Right, I've heard that. It would cost me about $1,000 every 6 months just to put that license plate on it. I said, oh.
I have talked to the DNR and I've talked to the sheriff's deputies, and there's so many laws that makes it difficult. I don't believe you can have an ORV sticker and an orange triangle on the same vehicle.
No, it's not a triangle.
Well, like a slow moving vehicle.
No, I don't have those. I know that is a animal all by itself with the little triangle. But they're free to use in Mason County. They're that close to us, and they're all around us, they allow them. But they're always butting heads with Manistee County. Even the sheriff told me that. He said I don't know why they're so adamant against them. That's the only reason I'm here.
Yeah.
Roll call, no. But did
Will, but we didn't.
we have,
Okay, yeah. I'm sorry, I'm gonna cut you off right now. I wasn't aware of, I thought you were gonna have something on the water tower. We have a motion on the floor that we need to, or we have a topic on the floor that we need to, and I lost track whether we even made a motion yet. I don't believe.
Well, you had mentioned new business, so I thought I'd better get in there before you leave.
Okay, we'll bring you back under
Okay.
public comment if you have some more you want to add to that. But yeah, we've got to take care of the, and Dean, you made a motion. Was there a
Ed
second to
seconded
the?
it.
Ed second, okay. So we have a motion on the floor by Cruz, second by Williams to approve up to 4 additional inspections of the Fowler City Road water tower by Dixon Engineering. Shirley, you want to do a roll call on that, please?
Walker,
Yes.
Scarrow,
Yes.
Cruz,
Yes.
Kaczynski,
Yes.
Ball, yes, Williams,
Yes.
Kawanuski.
Yes.
Okay, motion carried. Okay, that brings us to public comment, and Mr. Lieski, if you have more you would like to add right now. Okay, and like we said, hasn't come before this board, I don't believe, not since I've been here, but it's certainly, I mean, we can talk about it a little bit and research it a little bit. I don't know. I don't have the background. I know I have had some people in the township, particularly more so about snowmobiles, you know, wanting to connect with some of the trails and that, but I guess that's something we can explore a little bit.
Is that something the planning commission has to address?
Well, I don't think so. I don't know. I guess I have to get clarification on
About
that.
8 years ago, it came up.
8 years ago?
And I think it was at the county level.
It came up at a county
At the
level.
county level.
And at that time, no one approved it in the county. And then it came back again in Norman Township, and Norman Township approved it. And I believe Norman and Arcadia.
Oneka's got it too.
Do they?
Yeah, right in the village, that's what I've been told.
Yeah. But
I
so
wonder
I
where
don't know
the,
I don't know if that's an ordinance,
Yeah,
how that works.
well, yeah, I mean, we could certainly look and see if it is, then it would be controlled by the planning commission.
I would sure appreciate it.
I don't, it would be handled, the planning commission would do the legwork on it, but it more than likely would be a police power ordinance.
Yeah, and I don't know, I haven't talked with anybody from the sheriff's department, you know, where their stance on it is or what their position is, how they feel about it. But I can certainly talk with the sheriff. Any other public comment? Okay, any other business to come before the board tonight? Shirley you have copies of that language from Richard concerning the EMS training?
Yep, it's right there in front of you. Right there.
Oh, okay, you put one in everybody's spot.
Yes, and they're
Okay.
taking it home with them
Okay,
to
yep,
review for
that's
next
homework
month.
for next time. Take that home and look it over because there's too much to review and understand. We will be taking action on that at our September board meeting, okay? And that's in regard to what Ron was talking about with us earlier. The other thing, I've got some color pictures here that Lynn asked me to share with you. This picture is when Northern Pump and Well was here draining the, we had to drain the tank, and they were doing work on the pump. That's what these two pictures are, if you haven't seen them. And then this group of pictures is, I think, probably you've either seen the pictures or you've been in the house. But if you haven't, they're here. Color pictures of the Adamski residence. So if you'd like to take a look at those, do so. That's all I have. Dean, do you have anything else for tonight?
No, the tree over on 24th and Manistee, there's still one big limb there, so I don't know, toward the house.
Yeah, but I drove by it.
But it isn't cracked.
Today, yeah, that one is solid. The one that was cracked through and hung up on the other limb, they've taken down, so that's good.
So that should be all right then.
Yeah, I would think so.
But that was an interesting day. 2 days. Yeah, Shirley, if you guys want to.
Would you believe I met one of the guys that moved out that stuff Sunday?
Did you?
Couldn't believe it.
See that?
It did. He claims they're done with that.
Well, they are.
He said they didn't take him. You know what it is, Jack? What is his name? Jack Olenichuk, right?
Well, they got one key on the front.
I went in, I think it was Monday evening, because the lights were still on, and I knew they were supposed to be done on Sunday, so I went and turned the lights off, and I just walked through real quick, and, you know, they took a lot of stuff, but they left a lot of stuff too. You know.
He claimed that it was, he works with this guy does this kind of work, he buys stuff like that. I'm sure his name is Olenichuk.
Well, we've got to decide and probably start moving on that right away, what we want to do.
Well, why can't we get the garbage out of there?
Well, we need to get that out first, and then
do some other work.
We're going to have to get a roof on it and get it cleaned up inside. My thought is professionally clean because, you know, I got to believe everything's a little bit contaminated from everything that was in there.
I'd like to see those pictures.
Yeah, I would too.
The one room, for sure.
Yes. Yeah.
Probably the primary thing is we get a small dumpster and get the garbage.
Small.
Or a big dumpster.
Or a big dumpster.
Oh, that 30 yard.
Yeah, I spoke with Richard yesterday and we talked about that, and that was his suggestion, get a dumpster and get somebody to clean it out. So that's something we need to.
Our two guys said they do that.
And John told me today he could work on that.
Yeah.
Why don't we think about that. Give him some protection as far as clothing and the mask.
Clothing, mask,
Let them
gloves.
empty what's in there into a dumpster, and then we'll go from there with cleaning the rest of it.
That's what
I think so.
And we should get a couple people looking at the roof and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
we'll have
don't
to, and I guess with your consent, I will seek bids on a new roof and try to get at least 3 bids if I can.
That would be good, that if we could get that approved in
Because I think
September meeting.
Yeah, yeah.
I think the trusses in the
If you
garage.
need a
may have to be
form of,
replaced.
if you need a form of a motion, I'll make the motion that
Well,
we authorize you to
you don't really need,
act on
we
that.
know you have to do it.
Yeah, we'll,
We'll have to make a motion on what we're gonna, who we're gonna choose to do it.
I'll get some bids. If somebody wants to work with me on that, you're more than welcome. I'll try to get at least, like I say, at least 3 bids.
I'll work with you.
Okay, all right, Ed, thanks. And then probably beyond that, if everybody's okay with, you know, it'll probably take a little bit longer if we turn John loose on it, because unless we grant him more hours a day right now, because right now we're giving him 20 hours a week, and he's got to keep,
Yeah, but John, he can't do more hours.
he's got, well, yeah, he's got another part-time job out of Myers, so we've got to take, he's got to continue to take care of the township that he has to do, but we can get him working on that, and, you know, maybe it'd be a case of hiring somebody else just to help him with
Works
that.
with him real well.
Mike?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't talked to Mike. I don't know if he'd be interested in doing that or not.
I know somebody.
Yeah, I do too. But, you know, I mean, we got to watch ourselves there in terms of liability issues. With having John do that, he's under our umbrella. He's covered insurance-wise and everything. So I'll talk to him tomorrow about getting going on that. We'll get a dumpster. I don't know what size, if a 30-yard dumpster is going to be big enough to do it.
It should, because anything else, you know.
Looks like there's a lot of
Yeah,
paper.
There's wood, there's junk
A lot of that- I mean, there's still some good stuff in there that I can't believe they didn't take those 2 antique beds. With
I know, yeah. They're beautiful beds.
Yeah. The
4 post beds.
Yeah, yeah. But
What are we gonna, if we gotta take that, what are we gonna do with it?
put it in the dumpster.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes.
If somebody,
We gotta work some other way.
if somebody raises the dumpster, I guess that's beyond.
Now, the problem with that, Ed,
Put it in the dumpster,
I
and
know.
if someone takes it out of there,
you
that's
just
their
can't take the
problem.
chance. You
Right.
can't,
Yeah,
because the way the law's written,
yeah. So we'll get John going on that then, and then probably I ought to maybe also get a bid from someone like Surf Pro, what they would charge to go in and tear out.
And you got Max Cleaning,
You got Max Cleaning.
and you probably got another one or two.
Manistee, the ones that did the,
Manistee cleaning.
What about
Manistee Cleaning
Sure
did the floor at the rec center, I can contact them.
Sure Shine or whatever. that is.
Well,
Well,
True
yeah,
Shine does our.
True Shine does
here,
the hall.
Our hall, yeah.
So we could talk to them. So in the next week and a half or so, I'll try to get some bids for that, cleaning,
That up, and if it don't.
Well,
some roof bids.
We may have a little trouble getting the builder,
you just put papers on every time dog
you
shit.
know what I mean?
A roofer, you mean?
What an idiot.
Well, there's some more roof work they gotta do before they can put a roof on.
Well, yeah, there's,
Most of the
yeah,
roofers will do that.
there, yeah.
Well, they're good, huh?
There's gonna have to be, you know, yeah, some of the sheeting's gonna have to be replaced. We don't know about rafters.
Some of them, much don't look bad.
Got the job at Ferris.
Oh, wow.
Where the ceiling was torn off, you know?
Yeah.
Where it fell.
We can hardly hear anymore because we have side conversations going here.
Okay, Dale, do you have anything else?
When can we go in there?
You can go in there anytime you'd like.
Well, I was waiting for it to all become legal, like.
Yeah, it was legal as of last Sunday, and I've got the key if you want to go in.
All right, I want to go in
Talk to me
there.
after the meeting.
All right.
You looked at the picture. Shirley, you have anything else? Ruth? Ed?
Is it Christina?
Oh,
You and I and Dean attended the meeting at the post office. Give a rundown of what's going on.
Sure. basically, it sounds like, bottom line, they don't plan to reopen the post office. That's the feel that we got for it, I think. They talked about that being a possibility, opening that. They talked about the possibility of a post office on wheels. They talked about the possibility of purchasing another building. There isn't a whole lot down there to choose from. What they were initially talking about was cluster boxes, rural route boxes, like most people have out in front of their house, mailboxes like that, in clusters of 4. And, you know, we kind of talked about the snow issues on those side streets down there, not getting plowed for 3 or 4 or 5 days after a storm, that was going to be a problem. So then they, what they finally came up with that they're going to work on, and we're supposed to get something on it, I think this week yet, and that is maybe 2 boxes to a post. So, you know, like neighbors sharing the same post and a post, each having their own rural box. People, there was more attendance than what I anticipated there would be. And the people that were there, I think, to me, they seemed like they'd be satisfied with that. That was the feeling I got. There was no real strong objections.
Well, why can't they use them big complex, where a lot of these condos and stuff, they have one spot.
That's what they wanted initially to do, Ed, but
they can't get the property.
Well, yeah, first of all, where are they going to put it, and you know, who's going to accept the liability issues that go with it, and everything else. There were just a lot of issues with that we...
Well, what are they doing these big housing complexes?
Most of those, a lot of those are inside, or they're covered.
In the hallway.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of them are outside too.
I know they put one of those at the, I forget the name of the trailer park on 55 there on the Big Manistee River.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And evidently, last winter there were a lot of issues with boxes freezing up. People couldn't get into them. You know, problems. And so now they're looking at either enclosing that or at least putting a roof on.
I took that gal's name and faxed the landowner that we talked about, the old gas station. I took it to him today and let him decide. I told him to contact. So they were maybe looking for another location. This was another location.
Do you still have her phone number and email address?
No, I gave it to him.
Okay, so I can get it.
I can get it from him. I can go there tomorrow and get it back.
I'm sure I can get it.
Okay.
Bart was her name, so. So I don't know if that answers your questions, what happened with that.
But remember this, it's not over until the one group there decides it's over.
The real estate division?
Yeah, the real estate division. They got all these different divisions now.
Yeah,
This division said, went to this division.
she said that the real estate division wasn't even working on this, the project.
Now they're on the planning
George.
division.
Yeah, the real estate division passed it on to the planning division. So
Our government tax dollars at work.
Yeah.
Next will be back to her.
Well, like we said afterwards, they paid 2 personnel to come from Grand Rapids up here. And,
Well, that one gal's from Hart.
okay, from Hart.
The postal
Probably could've done it
department or
with
what?
Yeah, they were all postal employees.
I can't talk against that. My son-in-law, that's what he does. Settles contracts with the post office.
Okay, if there's nothing else, I would entertain a motion for adjournment.
I so moved.
Second.
Motion by Cruz, second by Skira to adjourn. All in favor? Aye.